The Gilgamesh Project, Book 1, The Codex, Chapter 1. Barry Simmonds felt uneasy as he disembarked from the Iberia flight at Madrid Barajas International Airport. Firmly grasping his briefcase and carry-ons, he looked around anxiously as he emerged from the gangway and joined the thin crowd of arrivals, hurrying along the seemingly endless one-way corridor, following the panels marked Llegadas, Arrivals. Once in the almost empty immigration hall, he tagged onto one of the unusually short lines, and after a few minutes fumbled his passport across the counter at the control booth, squinting anxiously at the tight-faced official through his thick glasses, wishing he could light up a cigarette. It was Wednesday morning, June 24, a few days since Spain's frontiers had been relaxed, following a draconian COVID-19 lockdown. But it wasn't the virus that worried him, nor was it the fact that the UK had officially quit the EU and his British passport would soon, he feared, have the same value as that of a banana republic's. He needn't have worried. The attention of the Spanish police was fully focused on the health of the arriving travellers. A mere trickle compared to the pre-pandemic flow, more fearful of incoming infection than on the watch for the usual drug mules arriving from Central America on early flight, scrutinizing businessmen and tourists, arriving like him on the half-empty flight from Geneva and other hubs for fever and signs of the disease. Simo, as his friends called him, was a long-time resident of Belize, a former British colony, a small country overlooking the Caribbean, wedged between Guatemala and Mexico, where he was the surviving partner of a small local law firm, Young and Simmonds Partners. His business was legal services, related to the setting up of offshore companies and bank accounts. The firm's clientele consisted mostly of those who wanted to hide their money from the taxman. Many of them were honest tax dodgers, businessmen and the like. Others were much less so, crooked politicians, officials and their mafia friends, laundering ill-gotten gains derived from corruption, embezzlement, extortion and plain theft. His rather worn but handsome leather briefcase contained what had been discovered at the end of a complex paper chase left by a recently deceased client of his, one George Wallace. Wallace, a Londoner, had been a good client of Simo's, for whom he had set up a good number of offshore shell companies over the previous decade or so, both in Belize and other Caribbean tax havens, for which he managed certain and often complex legal transactions. Belize was barely ever mentioned in mediatized investigations into tax havens. It was too poor, less glamorous compared to the Bahamas or the Cayman Islands. In the book, The Panama Papers, described as the biggest leak in the history of data journalism by the American whistleblower Edward Snowden, Belize was cited just twice, very briefly, and in the laundromat it was cited just once in passing. Wallace had kept a low profile, very discreet, maintaining nothing more than polite contact with his close neighbours, though he often entertained business friends, who included Russians, Cubans and Venezuelans, at his spacious villa that lay on the edge of the forest between the Rio Bravo Conservation Area and the Crooked Tree Wildlife Sanctuary, about an hour's drive to the northwest of Belize City and its airport.